Millions of concerned citizens are overwhelmed by the rapid demoralization of America. Are these changes natural grassroots movements or the work of social engineers who profit from the decline of our nation? We believe the decline of America is not inevitable, and when citizens understand what is happening, we will rise for justice to the true America. We will overcome. Recent leaked documents of hedge fund globalist George Soros and his Open Society foundations reveal that the atheist billionaire behind Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton is funding a massive network of organizations and even curious ministers who attack not only political opposition, but who advance Soros's radical and comprehensive social agenda for America. These leaks are confirmed by IRS and web documents of Open Society and related foundations. Like a bully on the playground, the Soros network has profited by funding the decline of cultures and economies.
I am particularly interested in changes in the rules of the game.
In 1930, Soros was born in Hungary. George's role model was his father, Tivadar Schwartz, who sold information about fellow Jews to the Nazi regime.
It was actually probably the happiest year of my life, that year of German occupation.
Changing their name to Soros, the family moved to England, where George studied at the socialist London School of Economics. Through his Quantum Fund, he amassed wealth by influencing events, elections, and currencies in Asia, Russia, and Europe. In 1992, he broke the Bank of England. In France, he became a convicted felon for insider trading. As Soros's global network weakens sovereign nations, it grows in wealth and power. Millions of people suffer the consequences. For several decades, their target has been America. Through his Open Society foundations, Soros postures himself as a philanthropist who has spent over $10 billion to fundamentally transform America. What is this so-called progressive network doing to us and how? They advance educational content in our schools, the transgender movement, drug legalization, the sex worker industry, abortion, euthanasia, open borders, the flow of Islamic refugees, and voting schemes. Their formula seems to be billions of dollars to activists and organizers, and funding to the media, funding to rented ministers, and funding to judges and politicians, which results in the fundamental transformation of America. Let's take a closer look. Circle 1, money. Joined by other globalist foundations like Ford, Tides, Gill, Arcus, Rockefeller, and Carnegie of New York, the Soros Network offers near infinite money to organizers and activists who create and swarm on events and issues to agitate political drama. While funding hundreds of media channels and technology networks to make their street theater our national narratives. To give the impression of the moral high ground, the Soros Network also funds what they call evangelical and Catholic mascots to serve as surprising validators for their anti-Christian projects and candidates. Imagine the evil of using a Christian front to de-Christianize the culture and nation. In this video clip from the New America Foundation, an executive admits their rent and evangelical model of social change.
doing a sort of rent an evangelical, as we used to call it on the national security side, rent a general model.
The network funds religious groups including Jim Wallace's Sojourners, PICO, Faith in Public Life, Faithful America, Richard Cizik's New Evangelical Partnership, Telos, J Street, National Council of Churches, Evangelicals for Human Life, Catholics United, Catholics in Alliance for the Common Good, Catholics for Choice, and through the network's National Immigration Forum, they fund religious groups advancing open borders, amnesty, and voter registration for their new America. Rather than advancing the whole counsel of Scripture as the highest love for people and culture, these useful ministers assist non-Christian policies, projects, and politicians with faith works, optics, organizing, and media to confuse Christian and other value voters, to recruit the church into their radical political agenda, and to help the left's politicians get elected.
You're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not come my Christian faith.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
All of which works to fundamentally transform America.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
The Soros network of money and activists breaks down life-giving wisdom of marriage and the family with progressive education, alternative identities and sexualities, abortion, and soon euthanasia. The network grows government power, taxes, welfare dependency, and debt. The Soros network breaks down civil society and ethnic harmony by hiring organizers to create street theater that becomes our ugly national narratives. the network advances illegal migration and unvetted refugees, bringing crime, disease, drugs, and even terror to America. The Bible teaches wise welcome, not open borders. The network advances many Islamist projects endangering Europe, Israel, and America. It aided President Obama's nuclear deal, giving $150 billion to Iran, a state sponsor of terror. Now, after 8 years of President Obama forcing open borders, the network is supporting voter fraud by documenting undocumented people to vote.
Turn your centers, Islamic centers, mosques, into registration centers for voters, into polling stations during the election time. Black Lives Matter is our campaign.
And after decades of collaboration with the Clintons, George Soros is now the chairman of Ready for Hillary PAC.
We have been given an extraordinary blessing, and at this moment in time, our country needs us. And we need people like George Soros, who is fearless and willing to step up when it counts.
The formula works, and here's the key. The well-funded and organized minority, the Soros network, overwhelms the unorganized majority. This method of social change created tragic consequences throughout the 20th century and now advances a radical progressive political and social agenda that is regressive and openly hostile to the church and nation. What's the end goal? Demoralizing and weakening the once strong America grows the unchecked power of a tiny global elite.
I had to experiment, and it was a learning process. The first part was this subversive activity, disrupting repressive regimes. That was a lot of fun.
This is now our fight for the faith, for our nation, and for the human race against a godless, dehumanizing machine. It's time for the church and nation to stand up to these tactics of transformation, or what we might call killing America. It's time to speak truth to power, because the true America is more loving and life-giving than the new America of globalist social engineers. Our silence in the face of this onslaught is unchristian, un-American, and unloving. As Dietrich Bonhoeffer warned the church in the 1930s, silence in the face of evil is itself evil.